Hello everybody, and welcome to the weekly vlog, where I talk about topics in relation to the channel and just video games in general. So today's topics are 1. Changes that are going to be coming to my videos. 2. I'm going to be talking about thumbnails. 3. I'll be talking about my first fan art that I received just this week. And 4, just what I've kind of been playing this week in general. So first up is changes that are coming to the videos. So I've kind of done this a little bit already, but I haven't really started doing it until probably this week. I've been doing it a little bit more and going more full on in it. And basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a lot more editing work on my videos. The reason being is that I've been looking back on my old videos, which I would consider quite crappy, to be honest. And there is a lot of them, because it's only recently I would sort of call my videos getting to a point of being good. Because now I do have the software to do it, whereas before I didn't, and along with that I've got the face cam and everything else. But basically, I'm doing a lot more editing where I'm cutting out bits and just making it more fun to watch than it was before. Because before, like when I was looking back on them, there was videos that were like twice as long as they could have been. You know, they were going into 40 minutes, 50 minutes in the odd occasion, and when I look back on it, I could have at least have them down to maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. Because, you know, I could have just cut out a lot of backtracking. I could have cut out a lot of just stuff that had already been through that just wasn't progression in the game, and it slows down and the game, and it slows down the videos and makes them longer than they need to be, and just boring to watch. Just shite. It's just shite. And what I've been doing, especially this week, as I said, I've done a little bit of it beforehand with certain parts, particularly like if I was dying a lot in certain places, I'd sort of just chop it out and I sort of continue the video then from where I actually succeeded or something like that. But I've kind of brought that to the next level where, as an example, my Grimrock Custom Dungeon Let's Play Master Quest, there's a lot of backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards in that. And for the first half of the series, I'd say I haven't cut out nearly enough. But I have been, say over the past week or so, I have been. And it's, you know, I've been chopping it out, chopping it out, chopping it out, chopping it out, or if I'm stuck on a puzzle, I'll chop out a lot of that whilst I'm there trying to figure it out, or just, you know, I'm just chopping out as much as I can without, you know, ruining anything. So when there's no progress being made, I will just chop out the boring bit that has no relevance of being there, or no relevance of progression, or just not fun to watch, or just boring. I'm just completely chopping it out. Like the only time I might sort of keep little tiny bits in would be, you know, if I was having one of my rages, or if I was giving out about something, or if I said something of interest, or if I said something story related or something like that. Like an example of it is that at the moment I'm doing the Let's Play of Pathologic, which is a very dialogue heavy game, but it also revolves around a lot of running around from place to place to place to place. And the thing is that there's very little stuff of interest between going from place to place, so you're just wandering around the town and there's not an awful lot going on during that time. So I generally, what I've been doing with it is I've been cutting it out when I'm going from place to place, and only sort of sticking in little bits of interest. Like if I say something to do with the story, if I talk about the game in general, or you know, if something interesting happens, or if I find something or whatever, I'll generally keep it in. But there's lots and lots and lots and lots of sort of pieces just taken out because it's just boring. Just, you know, because it could take me several minutes to get from one location to another, and I'm just cutting it out completely because it's just not fun to watch, and it also speeds up the process. So I'm doing that with any game from here on in, where if I'm stuck for any reason, like be it solving a puzzle, or whether I'm backtracking, or whether I'm just genuinely stuck and not making progress, I'm just going to cut it out and just make them a lot more efficient and a lot more fun to watch. Because there was one um, Master Quest episode, and it was actually 35 minutes long, and by the time I had it edited and everything cut out that I didn't need and that was boring, I had it down to about 13 minutes, something like that. That's how boring that episode would have been if I hadn't have done that. Because I was stuck on a puzzle for ages. I just couldn't figure it out, and eventually I left it. And well, I did come back to it later and figured it out, but I was there for ages trying to figure it out, and I just literally just chopped it out. I just chopped it out, kept the bits where I was getting angry and annoyed and having a little paddy whack, and so I literally cut it down by over half, and it'd probably be a lot more fun for you guys to watch. I watched back on it just to sort of see, is my theory right on it being more fun this way, and I personally thought it was a bit more fun to watch compared to when I watched back on my older videos. But yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing from here on in. I think it's going to work a lot better. It's going to be a lot more enjoyable for you guys to watch as well. Number two is thumbnails. I'm sure you've noticed that there's thumbnails on some of my video series and there's not on others. The reason for this is that a friend of mine is doing the thumbnails for me, but he's super busy. He's got his own things that he's doing as well. Like, he works a full-time job. He's doing his own side projects as well. Well, home projects, not really side projects, but I'll call them home projects. And take up a lot of his time as well. And he's only able to do it in his spare time, and he is doing it as a favour to me, because I would do it myself, but I just don't have a clue how to use Photoshop or anything like that, and it's a very complicated process from what I've seen. I've tried doing it, but I simply don't have the time to sit down and learn how to use Photoshop right now. So yeah, he's getting as many out as quick as he can, but he'll be getting them out like as many as he can at one time. But he'll probably always be slightly behind, but he's doing a great job on it. I love the style that he's used for it, and there will be plenty more coming, so don't worry. So just in case you were wondering about the thumbnails, but that's basically the story behind that. Number three is my first bit of fan art that I received this week, which is this. It's basically a Portal fan art, and basically, I know you probably can't see it very well, but on the top here is the companion cube here with the cake, like at the end of Portal 1, and then further down here it's me there having a tantrum, throwing the portal gun, saying, "Where is my cake?" And it's brilliant. I love it. I think it's great. And then on the back he put the best of the best Shepples. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was great. It had a bit of humour in it and everything. It was made by a young boy. He's about, I think he's about 11, maybe 12 at the oldest. And he's actually working on more. He's told me he's working on more, and he's going to be giving them to me after the Easter holidays from school and things like that. And he's also done several Portal 2 community test chambers as well. After me, I think he's called them the Shepples Test Quest, I think is what he's called. So I may check them out as well. But he's been doing an awful lot for me, and he watches me religiously, to be honest. Like, he really does watch like my videos on an almost religious basis. He's been absolutely great. So thank you very much. You know who you are, I know who you are, so thank you very much for that, and for everything that you've been doing. But next up is for, of course, what I've been playing this week. I haven't really gotten a chance to really do an awful lot this week. It's been, excuse me, one of those weeks that just everything has been kind of chaotic, I suppose you could say, where it's just been kind of rush, 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 and just so much to do all week and everything else. So I haven't really had a lot of time to sit and play games. I haven't had an awful lot of time to do recordings, not as much as I usually would. But as I've been playing Pathologic, I've been doing a Let's Play of Pathologic, which is a Russian. It's a game made by a Russian developer called Ice Pick Studios, I think, and it's kind of one of those hidden gems. It was very well hidden in the gaming industry until the likes of till GOG put it up, and then it sort of became more widely known. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. And basically, it's about a town that has come down with a plague and an epidemic, and you have to choose between one of three characters. The third one is locked until you finish the game with one of the first two, and there's like murders going on, and then there's a plague and things like that from what I gather, and you have to try and stop the plague. You have to keep these people, the most important people, alive of the town, and you know, you have to solve the mystery and everything else. It's really good. It is weird as hell. Like the people in it are really, really weird. It's real psychological. It's really weird, and it's a good game from what I've played so far. But it's very harsh in many shapes and forms. You have to, your character gets exhausted, which you'd have to sleep, and you have to time everything. You have to manage everything. You have to feed him because he gets hungry, and certain foods will sort of, you know, make him full, but will have other effects on you. Like lemons would make you sort of more alert, more awake. So it'll decrease your exhaustion, will increase your hunger. You know, you have to sort of figure out all these things, and the game doesn't hold your hand in any shape or form. Like you're just thrown into this world, and you know you're given a couple of sort of little tutorial tips on basically how things work. It took me a while to get my head around what they actually meant, because the translation in the game is really, really bad from Russian to English. I'd say it was probably done using some online translator, which do not work very well at all, and it can be very confusing and very hard to understand at times. But if you sort of sit back and think about it and sort of go back over it in your head, it kind of works. Because I haven't done any of it today. I'm literally just starting recordings now. But I've sort of sat back and thought about it from yesterday, and things are starting to make a bit more sense now that I've thought about it more. And I took half an hour out yesterday to sort of figure out what to do and how things work, so I'm getting a better idea as well. But the game does not hold your hand in any shape or form. It doesn't tell you keys. It doesn't tell you what does what. You're just excuse me, you're just thrown into this world that you just got to figure it out, and you're going to make mistakes, and it's going to make things hard for you. Like at the moment where I left off yesterday, like my character is quite exhausted and I still have so much to do, and I don't know what happens when his exhaustion reaches full. I don't know whether he just collapses on the floor or what. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Let's Play goes, because it's really interesting. It's very different. It's one of those games that I've seen people call love or hate it. You're either going to really love it or you're going to really hate it, and so far I'm not hating it or disliking it in any shape or form. If anything, it's intriguing me. And in a sense, the bad translation of the language from Russian to English for the game, I don't know what it is, but it kind of adds to its charm in a slight way. It kind of, because it's like everybody talks in riddles to a point that it's actually hard to understand them sometimes. Like they're, I can't even sort of repeat a line as an example because it's very strange. But it kind of adds to its charm because it's such a strange game and it's got such strange atmosphere and strange characters and just everything in it is weird. And the bad translation and the way that the character's dialogue goes because of the bad translation, it kind of adds to its little magic in a sense. It's really fucking weird, and it's something that I recommend that you sort of look at. You know, like it can be got on GOG. I'm not sure about Steam, probably, but it can definitely be gotten on GOG, and I definitely have a look at if you're something weird and unusual. But I would suggest that you read into it first beforehand, because as I said, it's either one that you're gonna love or you're gonna hate to a high degree. So definitely read up about it if you're interested in it. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna have the videos uploaded for it. Um, it won't be this week when this is uploaded, so I'm guessing maybe 2 weeks, something like that. Probably 2 weeks after this is uploaded, I'll probably start uploading Pathologic, something like that. Maybe even a bit sooner, I don't really know. But it'll probably be around about that anyway, so. But if something like that interests you, definitely go read up about first, because as I said, it's just one of them games that you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. But yeah, so that's it for this week, guys, on the weekly vlog, video log, whatever way you want to put it. I always get tongue twisted because I sort of have so many definitions of it going in my head. Sometimes I say vlog, sometimes I say vlog, sometimes I say video log. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and have fun.